Hello, Sunshines. Today we're taking a look at how the American Revolution moved to the South. So get ready for another exciting episode of Mrs. K Presents American History. Our objective for today, if that will pop up, the objective is to find out what battles happened in the South, why did they happen there, and what exactly does that mean for this new country. When the British found out that the French were going to help the Americans, they decided to move the fighting into the South. The British had already captured many important cities in the north, and they hoped to defeat the Americans in the south before the French could arrive to help them. Why the South, exactly? Well, the British hoped to get help from a lot of the loyalists who lived in the South. There were a lot of people who were still loyal to King George, and they were hoping that they would help them. British leaders hoped to capture southern ports so they could receive supplies from England and keep the colonists from receiving supplies. Also, fighting on land was much harder for the British. They had a wonderful navy, and that made it much easier for them to fight in the sea. They also lost several battles along the frontier, including a battle in what is now Indiana. So, battles in the South. First off, we have one in Savannah. Savannah, Georgia was Britain's first target in the South. On November 25th, 1778, about 3,500 that number's wrong, it should be 3,500. British soldiers landed near the town and quickly attacked the American soldiers who defended Savannah. The next one was Charlestown. In 1780, the British took Charlestown, later known as Charleston, South Carolina. The Americans were greatly outnumbered and were easily defeated in this battle. Here's an important figure from when the war moved south. That's Benedict Arnold. Early in 1781, Benedict Arnold, a former Continental Army officer, led the British attacks on towns in Virginia. Arnold was what was called a traitor, or someone who acts against his or her own country. He betrayed America because he felt he had been treated unfairly by the Continental Army. So how does America react to all of this? Even though they lost several battles, the Americans never gave up. General Nathanael Greene, who led the Continental Army in the South, told his soldiers not to give up. He wrote, "We fight, get beat, rise, and fight again." Another important battle is the Battle of Cowpens, and I love saying Cowpens. In January 1781, General Daniel Morgan led the Americans to a major victory at Cowpens, South Carolina. This victory proved that American forces could beat the British in the South. They were not invincible. And here is a picture, a painting someone made of the Battle of Cowpens. There was also a battle at Guilford Courthouse. After the Battle of Cowpens, the British Army pushed into North Carolina, where they battled the American troops at Guilford Courthouse in March 1781. They won the battle but were terribly weakened in the process. Both sides lost a great deal of soldiers in this battle. So that's a little bit about the American Revolution moving south. Now that you have learned about the battles, please answer the questions on the next slides on a separate sheet of notebook paper. Please be prepared to discuss them in class and to turn them in. Question number 1. Why did the British move the war into the South? Use the map on the next slide to answer questions 2 through 4. Remember, you can pause this recording for as long as you need to find the answer. I've also put the map in several times to make it easier. Here's the map. It's also in your book. Question 2. In which region was the Battle of Cowpens fought? And take a moment to find that on your map. The Battle of Cowpens, where was it? What region? Remember when we talked about geographic regions at the beginning of the year? Question number 3. In what region did most of the war's early battles take place? Again, we're talking about regions. What region did most early battles take place? Now, if you'll notice, next to each battle there is a date. I don't know if you can see that. And question number 4. Which southern port did the British capture first, Charlestown or Savannah? You can look back into the previous slides or use the map to find the answer. Which one was captured first, Charlestown or Savannah? And they're toward the bottom. And super awesome bonus question time. How many battles can you find labeled on this map? How many battles can you find labeled on this map? Take a few minutes to count those. And that's all I have for you today. Please stay tuned for more. Next time we'll be learning who wins the Revolutionary War, but I think you already know the answer to that. But more importantly, we're talking about how this war was won. So stay tuned.